We are watching every drug and its effect explained in 17 minutes. I've done many a drug. I feel like most drugs outside of the, not to sound badass or whatever, but I feel like I've done most drugs outside of the hard ones. Like I haven't done meth or like heroin.
Caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant, a chemical that speeds up your brain and nervous system. It's found in coffee, tea, soda, and energy drinks, powering billions of people every morning.
I forget that this one is a drug. I mean, I guess technically, I like this one a lot. This is the only thing that gets me through my day. Sometimes I have more than you're supposed to. You are supposed to have 400 milligrams per day is the max, really. Not at one time, but like throughout the 24-hour period. And that's kind of what I adhere to.
For most, it isn't just a drink. It's a ritual. The day doesn't begin until that first sip hits. Once you drink it, caffeine enters your bloodstream and quickly travels to your brain. There, it blocks a chemical called adenosine, which is what tells your brain it's tired. So caffeine doesn't give you energy, it just hides your exhaustion. Your neurons start firing faster. Your heart beats stronger, and suddenly you feel sharper, more alive.
I don't measure my drugs. You should. If you're doing drugs, you should measure them.
In 20 to 30 minutes,
even caffeine
the peak kicks in. You're focused, energized, and motivated.
So this is true to an extent. I mean, I'm assuming he's gonna get into this, but I didn't have a cup of coffee until I was 21 years old. So the first cup of coffee I had, I was like, this is a game changer. This is insane. I had no caffeine until I was 21 years old. And I was like, this is absolutely insane. I feel like I'm on another plane of existence. And then after like the first 3 months, I started doing like pre-workout drinks, like a Rain or like a Bang or whatever. It's like 300 milligrams at one time. And I was like, this is crazy. This is a new drug for me. I'm operating on a level in which no regular human can operate. But yeah, I didn't have caffeine. I didn't have a coffee until I was 21. And it changed my fucking life. I remember killing my econ homework. It was crazy.
Caffeine is mildly addictive, but it hides behind routine. Over time, your brain adjusts and stops producing as much natural alertness. You need more caffeine to feel normal. Quit suddenly and you'll notice it. Headaches, fatigue, and brain fog. We joke about needing coffee to live, but that's withdrawal disguised as culture. The truth is, caffeine doesn't wake you up. It just delays your tiredness until later. Nicotine. Nicotine is a fast-acting stimulant found in tobacco and vapes.
Also, I have never found nicotine to be a stimulant. I've been off of nicotine for fucking 4 months almost. I've been ruthlessly addicted to nicotine in years past. So, I mean, I never want, maybe in the very beginning, it was a stimulant for me, but like, certainly not what like Andrew Huberman claims or whatever, that it's like some kind of like nootropic or like some kind of crazy stimulant, you know?
The chemical that hooks people, not the smoke itself. It's inhaled through smoke or vapor, and within seconds it hits the brain, releasing a surge of dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel calm, focused, and content. At first, it feels perfect. Your heart rate rises just a little, your thoughts clear up.
Allie James, thank you for the tier 1 sub.
And stress melts away. That's the onset. A brief, clean high that feels controlled. For a few minutes, your brain runs smoother. But nicotine burns out quickly. As dopamine fades, the calm turns.
I will say the initial like nicotine buzz, like the hitting it and being like, oh, whoa, that happened like at the very beginning for like 6 months, maybe. You know? Other than that, like it never happened again.
Into tension, restlessness, and a craving for another hit. That's the come down, and it's what keeps people chained to the cycle. Each puff gives temporary relief from the discomfort that the last puff created. That's the trap. Nicotine doesn't actually relax you. It just resets withdrawal.
Correct.
Your brain learns that...
Well, yeah, the only relaxing part is that you're like, oh, fuck, I need to hit nicotine or like have a Zen or whatever. And then it's like relaxing as soon as you hit it or put it in your mouth.
Alcohol is a depressant, meaning it slows down your brain and nervous system. It's drunk everywhere. At parties, dinners, celebrations, commiserations. People drink to loosen up, to forget, or just to belong. Once it enters your bloodstream, it starts disrupting how your brain communicates with itself. At first, that feels good. The onset brings...
I started putting Zen in my butt, life-changing. Yeah, I will say, towards the end of my Zenning tenure, I would start using Zens as suppositories. And if you could get that sweet nicotine release from your asshole, it's really good. I'm kidding. And I'm assuming you are as well.
warmth, relaxation, and a sense of confidence. You feel more open, more social. Your thoughts quiet down, your body relaxes, and the moment feels easy. For a while, alcohol seems like the key to connection.
I will say, despite being a recovering alcoholic, I have never enjoyed the actual effect from alcohol. It has almost exclusively been like the dependence on alcohol that kept me going. And like the mental sort of like, you're stressing out, you should drink, whatever, like that sort of like therapeutic feeling in the same way that like nicotine acted as. But like never, I won't say never once. I mean, rarely would I be like, oh, I feel awesome, you know, but like most of it was like a mental dependency. It was very rarely like the actual feeling of being drunk. I didn't quite enjoy that, you know? Like even in college, like in my worst drinking days, I'd be like, I don't really enjoy this that much, but I would do it because that was like the normal thing.
The more often you drink, the more your brain expects it to relax. Soon you're not drinking
Okay, that's kind of what I was saying, actually.
for fun, but just to feel normal.
Hey!
Over time, it damages your liver, weakens your heart, and erodes your self-control. It's a chemical that makes you
Don't say fella-coated, that's not... I'm not the spokesperson for drinking to relax.
feel alive.
That's popular MMOs, dude. That's not me at all, dude. He had a way more popular clip, no pun intended.
While slowly dulling everything that makes you human.
Cannabis. Cannabis is a psychoactive drug made from the marijuana plant. It's most often smoked, vaped, or eaten as an edible. The main active chemical is THC, which interacts with the brain's endocannabinoid system, the network that regulates mood, memory, and perception. When THC enters the bloodstream, it rushes to the brain and binds to receptors that normally handle natural chemicals called anandamides, molecules that help you feel relaxed and balanced. That's when the onset hits. Time slows down, your senses sharpen, and everything feels slightly funnier, warmer, softer. At its peak, cannabis can heighten creativity and calm, or tip into confusion and paranoia, depending on the dose and...
Never in my life have I experienced the creativity aspect. I will say, like, there have been some times where I come up with somewhat of a funny premise, maybe, just because I'm high. But, like, there's never been a time where it's like, this is, like, creative, hilarious genius, you know? And for the longest time, I would smoke weed and I would just be like, the world's so small, God isn't real, what are we doing here? What if I die and it's darkness? Everyone hates you and you shouldn't die, but what if you die and it's nothing? But worse yet, what if you die and God is real and you haven't been living as God intended? You know, that was like I never smoked weed until I lived in a place where it was legal. Like in Chicago, I figured out the problem wasn't the weed, I was just getting too high. You know, like if I had like 5 milligrams, I could be like, huh, interesting. What is this video talking about? And then that was good, and I liked that. Like, I like weed at nighttime to enjoy YouTube videos, but like if you get too high, you're gonna be like, everyone hates me, I gotta die.
Cannabis is mildly addictive, but mostly psychologically. Regular use can dull motivation, mess with short-term memory, and in heavy doses, trigger anxiety or panic.
I feel like the biggest issue with weed, unless you're smoking like incredible amounts of weed, the biggest issue is you're like kind of complacent, I guess. Complacency is the biggest issue. You're like, I'm fucking fine where I'm at, dude. I don't have to do shit. Especially when you're not forced to do anything. Like for me, you know, like I don't have to technically get up and work whenever. Like complacency is a big fucking thing. You're like, you know, everything's fine. I don't have to do anything. It's all right.
Cocaine is a powerful stimulant made from coca leaf. It's most commonly snorted as a white powder, but can also be...
I don't think I've been candid about my cocaine use, but, you know, I don't really care anymore, honestly. I've done cocaine on a hand... You could count on one hand the amount of times I've done cocaine. I didn't seek out cocaine, but if it was ever offered to me, I certainly never turned it down. I'm a big upper guy. I like caffeine. I like, you know, how I feel when I'm energetic and what have you. The last time I did cocaine, I was very afraid I could have died or whatever. I never bought cocaine except for once, and that was the last time I did it, my senior year of college. There was a guy with his butt crack out. I was in Atlanta. And I was with some friends, and there was a guy with his butt crack out, and I was like, look at this fucking dude with his butt crack out, that's hilarious. And my friends were like, just go talk to him. And I talked to him, and he was like, would you like to buy cocaine? I was like, fucking yeah, butt crack guy, sure. And that was the only time I've bought cocaine ever. You know, it was... That scared me because that was the most I've ever done at one time ever. Even though it was like fine, that just really scared me because this is like something you could do and then just die, you know. So I mean, that was how old was I? 21. I was 21 the last time. I'm 25 now.
The onset is almost instant. A rush of euphoria, energy, and confidence. Your heart pounds, your pupils widen, and your brain feels electric. Every thought feels brilliant. Every move feels perfect. You feel untouchable. At the peak.
That's another thing is like, I remember I would have, again, from the small amounts of times I've done this, you would like talk to people and you're like, I'm a genius. I'm literally the king of conversation. And looking back on it, you're like, not really, you know, like, like you're just like saying fucking bullshit.
You're fast, focused, and alive. But the brain's...
You've done coke? Did you not hear the entire 5-minute escapade I just went on?
Reward system is already burning through its fuel. The high is sharp and short. Within minutes, dopamine levels crash, and the come-down slams in. Anxiety rises, mood drops.
See, this is something I've never really experienced until the last time where I never did it again, because I never did enough for it to be like a thing. You know, it was always just like a one-off, like, whoa, I'm crazy, whatever. You know, I'm going to have a 30-minute conversation about fucking engineering that I know nothing about or whatever. But the time that made me quit, the next day I was like, ah! Like I fucking freaked the fuck out. It was awful.
And exhaustion hits. You crave more just to feel normal again. Cocaine is highly addictive. The brain quickly learns...
That's another thing I never really experienced. Like, I never needed it or whatever. But again, that wasn't something I sought out.
...to link it with pleasure, motivation, and control. But it's an illusion. Each hit rewires you to need another. Over time, it damages the heart, constricts blood vessels, and rewires brain chemistry so deeply that joy without it feels impossible.
MDMA. MDMA, better known as ecstasy or Molly.
Molly I've done once at Lollapalooza, and I felt fucking nothing. Not one thing. I felt nothing. Felt nothing at all. Did it once. Didn't feel shit. I don't know if I just got, like, bullshit. I've heard that if you are on stimulants for ADHD, it's less effective. But it very well could have been just fake pills. But I remember feeling nothing.
It's usually swallowed as a pill or capsule at parties or clubs. The chemical floods your brain with serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, the trio responsible for happiness, reward, and connection. As the onset begins, warmth spreads through your body. Music sounds richer, lights shimmer,
never got
and
any
touch
of this.
feels electric. You feel deeply connected to friends, to strangers, to everything around you. The brain is running on maximum empathy. At the peak, serotonin levels...
However, I have met many people on Molly, and that is a big thing, like the empathy piece, where they're like, they care so much about what you have to say, like you're like no one cares that much about, you know, someone being an account executive or whatever. No one gives a fuck. But like someone on Molly at like a rave, they're like, oh my god, account executive, that's such a noble profession. You gotta
spike.
It's like, all right. Why are you clenching your jaw so hard when talking to me?
And the world feels perfect. You dance for hours. You talk nonstop. You feel infinite. But MDMA burns through the brain's supply of serotonin so fast.
This one I've also been scared to do because, like, I've heard the next day it's like you want to commit suicide or something because it uses all the serotonin
That
in your
within
brain.
hours, the come down starts. Emotion drains out of you, replaced by emptiness, sadness, or exhaustion. The high leaves as suddenly as it arrived. Used too often, MDMA damages the neurons that release serotonin, making natural happiness harder to reach. Physically, it can overheat your body, dehydrate you, and in rare cases, cause organ failure.
Sure.
It's called a love drug because it makes you feel connected to everyone. But when it's over, you realize that connection was chemical, not real, and your brain's left paying the price.
LSD. LSD is
God,
a
am I gonna be fucking... Have I done everything on this goddamn list? Holy shit. Get to the harder stuff, man. Good lord. I've done LSD once. It was fine. I much prefer mushrooms. I did it my spring break right before COVID. It was actually the spring break where COVID was announced, so March of 2020, where they were like, oh man, spring break is like 3 weeks now or something. And I did half a tab because I was scared. And I remember I didn't quite reach the peak because I didn't take enough. And I just felt weird the whole time. However, I did take a picture of a palm tree at the beach. And I put it on my Instagram story. And I was like, this makes so much sense. And then I looked at it later and it was just like a regular shitty picture of a palm tree. And I was like, what? But my caption was, this makes so much sense.
Once it hits, LSD binds to serotonin receptors, particularly one called 5-HT2A, which helps shape perception and mood. That's when the onset begins. Patterns start moving.
See, I didn't see anything crazy. I just remember, like, everything vibrated, and for some reason that palm tree, I was like, holy shit, this is like the tree of life or something. It was just like a random palm tree in front of our hotel. And I remember I recorded this video of myself eating a ham sandwich. And I was like... So I guess I did actually get... Even with half a tab, I think I did get pretty high. But I remember I recorded this video of me eating a ham sandwich. And I was like, eating the ham sandwich. And I would leave the frame of the video and I'd come back and I'd be like, what the fuck? When did I start recording? And I remember trying to like convince my friends that like it felt like a sitcom. I was like, guys, doesn't this ham sandwich feel like a sitcom or something? Like me eating this ham sandwich. It's like a TV show. And they were like, what? And I was like, do you not get what I'm saying? It's like Friends or something. I'm eating this ham sandwich. Or something. Like the video is like 30 minutes long and it makes no fucking sense. I'm like trying to explain why this ham sandwich show would be a good sitcom. And also, like, I'm being shocked at the fact that I am recording myself every time I exit frame and come back in. And I'd be like, what the fuck? I bet I could find the video. I know the friend to ask for it.
At the peak, which can last for hours, time loses meaning. Your sense of self, the part of your brain that says, I'm me, dissolves. You might feel connected to the universe, euphoric, terrified, or both. Emotions become physical. Music feels alive. The boundaries between thoughts and sensations blur until everything feels like one continuous wave. Then comes the come down, slow, gentle, like returning from orbit. Reality rebuilds itself piece by piece. You might feel calm, reflective, or emotionally drained. Some people describe it as a reset, others as being rewired. LSD isn't physically addictive, but it's unpredictable. The same dose can be bliss or nightmare, depending on your mindset and environment. It can also trigger flashbacks or anxiety long after the trip is over. LSD...
See, I never had that. I just, like, took a nap and woke up and I was like, did I fucking eat a ham sandwich? And then I checked my camera roll and it was the picture of the palm tree that said, this makes so much sense. I didn't have any, like, bad experience, really.
It opens the mind, but it doesn't always close the door cleanly behind it.
Ketamine. Ketamine is a...
Now, ketamine is something I've never done. I have never done ketamine. I've heard it's fucking insane, but I've also heard it's, like, used for, like, therapeutic reasons.
Dissociative anesthetic, originally designed for surgery. It's used medically today in small doses to treat depression.
I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things so far.
But recreationally, it's taken for its out-of-body effects. It's snorted as a powder or injected in liquid form. When it enters your system, ketamine blocks a chemical messenger called glutamate, which helps your...
I don't know what ketamine does, really. I know people who have done ketamine, like, recreationally, and the only thing I've heard is that it just makes you feel drunk. Oh, right, it's explaining it. My bad, I forgot it. The video I was watching.
Your brain process sensory input and maintain awareness. The onset comes fast. Within minutes, the world starts to feel distant, muffled, almost dreamlike. At the peak, perception detaches completely. You might feel like you're floating above your body, or watching your life from a distance, what users call the K-hole. Time stops making sense. You might see yourself from the outside, or feel like you've left your body entirely.
Scary.
It's not always pleasant. For some, it's peaceful. For others, terrifying. As the come-down begins, awareness slowly returns. Vision clears, speech reconnects, but the world still feels foggy. For a short while, it can leave you strangely calm, like your thoughts are moving underwater. Opioids are painkillers that come from the opium poppy.
Everyone on my dad's side of the family is addicted to opioids. I've never tried opioids. I've been on opioids for the elbow surgery. Oh, wait a fucking minute. Yeah, I was super on opioids. I was on a fucking... what was it? I've never taken it recreationally, but I was on opioids for the pain of my elbow. I was on the fucking... what was it? Fuck. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. Not Vicodin. Oxy! I was on Oxy! Yes, I was on Oxy. And honestly, I don't understand how people get addicted to opiates. Like, everyone on my dad's side of the family is addicted to opiates. I would take opiates for the elbow pain, and I would just get sleepy. I don't understand what enjoyment comes out of just being sleepy, and it also didn't even really help with the pain that much. Like, I would just take it and be like, damn, I gotta sleep. Also, my elbow hurts like fucking shit still. You know? Like, it didn't really help me at all. And nauseous. I see Audrey exactly. I would feel nauseous sometimes if I didn't eat. But I would just like, is my aunt addicted to sleeping? Is my half-brother addicted to feeling sleepy? I just don't understand.
They're used medically as morphine or oxycodone, but on the street, they show up as heroin or fentanyl. They're swallowed...
Okay, so those two I understand, I guess.
Smoked, snorted, or injected, and all work the same way.
They attach to opioid receptors in your brain and body, blocking pain and flooding you with euphoria. The onset
That's
brings
fucking bullshit. Like, again, oxy and morphine. Now that I'm seeing this in front of my face, I was on both. Post-surgery, I was on oxy. Pre-surgery, I was on morphine for like 5 days. Neither of those helped the pain. Like, I would just get so tired that I would sleep through the pain. You didn't do enough of it? Well, I guess that's the problem, really. And that's what we can take from that.
Then comes the come down, and it's brutal. Anxiety, muscle pain, nausea, sweating, insomnia. Every nerve in your body screams for the drug again. That's withdrawal. It doesn't just make you want more. It makes life unbearable.
Opiate withdrawal is a motherfucker. Opiate and alcohol withdrawal are like the two withdrawals that can kill you, actually. So you have to be very careful with how you wean off of it. Again, many people in my family have been addicted to opiates, and I don't think, truthfully, honestly, I don't think any of them have kicked the habit.
Opioids are among the most addictive substances known. They rewire the brain's survival system, teaching it that the drug is as essential as air. Over time, they destroy tolerance, organs, relationships, everything. The warmth they give in the beginning is the same warmth they take away from everything else in life.
Methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a powerful stimulant.
Haven't done this one either. So, W me.
Chemical that floods your brain with
Heard it's awesome, though.
dopamine and adrenaline, supercharging everything at once. It's often taken by smoking, swallowing, snorting, or injection, and within seconds, it hits like a lightning bolt. Over time, it leads to severe weight loss, insomnia, hallucinations, and memory loss. Meth gives you energy that feels...
A lot of that comes from the sleeplessness, though, like hallucinations and memory loss. I mean, I'm sure some memory loss is attributed to the actual drug in and of itself, but like if you're on meth and you continually do meth, you're not sleeping for like 3 days, you know? So you're fucking, you know, you're seeing shit, you're forgetting everything.
Infinite, until you realize it's stolen from your future self.
Psilocybin, better known as magic mushrooms.
Hey, we're back to shit I've done. Psilocybin, great. Microdosing mushrooms is pretty awesome, I will say. Like a nice microdose mushroom, you know, you'll be focused, you'll be locked in, you'll be happy. It's like a cup of coffee that brings you enjoyment, almost. You know, it's like to me, like a microdose mushroom feels like the first cup of coffee I've ever had. That's what it feels like. You will regret it eventually. Well, that's the thing with like all these drugs. Maybe not like meth or heroin or whatever, or ketamine. But like if you use this shit in moderation, it's pretty good. You know, like mushrooms I'm not doing every day, but I will say I've microdosed mushrooms like, you know, once every like 3 months or something. Have you done a big dose? I've done a big dose once, and it's a much more enjoyable, like, sort of visual experience than LSD. Granted, I did not take that much LSD. Just enough to do the ham sandwich thing.
Is a hallucinogen found in certain fungi. It's eaten raw, brewed...
What if your mom sees this? I imagine my mom... I mean, my mom will probably see this, and Mom, I'm sorry. But your husband has done far worse in his formative years. My father, you know. And also his entire family, you know. You know, everyone's addicted to opioids and meth and stuff. It's fine. Anyways.
Tea, or ground into capsules. Once consumed, the body converts psilocybin into psilocin, which interacts with serotonin receptors in the brain. The onset starts within half an hour. Your senses sharpen, patterns shimmer, and reality begins to ripple. Laughter comes easily. Music feels alive. You're aware of everything at once. Your body, your breath, the air.
I remember, like, this time last year, I went on a date, and the girl was like, what if we did like a bunch of mushrooms? And I was like, sure, all right. And we like went back to her apartment, and we didn't like kiss or like have sex or anything. We just pretended as if we were on a talk show. And she was like, was she hot? Yeah, she was super hot. But she was like, she was the guest on my talk show. And I pretended as if I was hosting a talk show. And that was it. And I was like, I guess I'm Ubering home. You know? It was like, that was the whole thing. We went on a date, and she was like, do you want mushrooms? And I was like, yeah, sure. And we took way too many mushrooms. And then we went back to her place, and then we did a talk show bit. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going home. And then that was the whole thing. It was actually pretty awesome. She's pretty cool.
At the peak, perception transforms completely. Colors pulse, time stretches, and you may feel a deep connection to nature, memory, or emotion. Some describe it as enlightenment, others as chaos. It's like your mind dissolves into something bigger, beautiful or overwhelming, depending on what you bring into it. As the come-down arrives, thoughts settle. The world slowly rebuilds itself. You might feel peaceful, grateful, or emotionally open. But for some, it leaves confusion or anxiety that lingers for days. Psilocybin isn't physically addictive, but it's powerful. It can help people break old patterns, or, in the wrong setting, trigger panic or psychosis. Mushrooms don't show you something new. They just pull back the curtain on what's already in your mind.
Benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepines, or benzos, are sedatives prescribed to treat anxiety, panic attacks, or insomnia.
I've also had family members addicted to benzos.
And they work by enhancing GABA,
Oh, this is like Xanax and shit. Right. Okay.
a brain chemical that slows down activity and brings calm. After swallowing one, the onset feels like relief. Muscles loosen, thoughts quiet, and the world stops feeling so sharp. Your heart
Never
slows,
taken one of
your
these.
body relaxes, and stress drifts away like fog. At the peak, everything feels soft and distant. Worry fades, time drifts, and sleep comes easily. But as the come-down starts, drowsiness turns to confusion, memory slips, and emotion flattens. With frequent use, the brain forgets how to stay calm without it. Benzos.
So Xanax, I guess, is a benzo. Every person I know that takes recreational Xanax immediately regrets it. I imagine benzos are like anxiety, you know? Prozac users rise up. Wait, are benzos SSRIs as well? Because I'm on Lexapro. I don't think that's fucking benzos. Heck no. Okay, so what the fuck is that? Prozac made me correct. Okay, I thought that was related to this. My bad. Anyways. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not on benzos. All right, so, yeah, Xanax. Every person I know that has taken, like, recreational Xanax has been like, I took it, and then I woke up, and I crashed my car into a fucking fire hydrant and killed 3 people or something, you know? Like, it completely blacks you out. And it's, like, not a good recreational drug, you know? It's like you should take it as prescribed, because it's not the best recreational drug in the world.
Are highly addictive, especially when used beyond prescription. Over time, tolerance builds fast, meaning you need more for the same calm. Stopping suddenly can cause anxiety, tremors, or even seizures, a withdrawal that can be dangerous without medical help. They quiet your mind, but silence can be addictive. The danger isn't the calm they bring, it's how easily they convince you that you can't live without it.
What an abrupt end to that video. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was fucking... What was the name of that video? Every drug and its effect explained in 17 minutes. How was that 17 minutes long? It felt AI made. I don't think it was AI. Granted, I don't know for sure. A lot of these this style of video end up being AI generated. You can usually tell by the voice though.